She's offered to welcome him with some homemade blueberry pie, but that didn't stop the half-term governor of Alaska from accusing a reporter renting the house near the Palin compound in Wasilla of peering in and overlooking the family swimming hole. Family swimming hole in question would be a 350-acre lake with public access. Number one story, Sister Sarah laments this apparent loss of privacy in a public announcement on Facebook. The former governor updating you, gentle reader, on both her lawn care regimen and a new development at Shea Palin. I finally got the chance to tackle my garden and lawn this evening, so putting on the shorts and tank top, attention Rich Lowry, to catch that too brief northern summer sun and placing a giddy trig in his toddler backpack for a lawn mowing adventure, I looked up in surprise to see a new neighbor overlooking my property just a stone's throw away. The new neighbor, author and reporter Joe McGinnis, according to Sister Sarah, Mr. McGinnis told Todd Palin he's rented the house next door for about 5 months to write a book. Its working title, Sarah Palin's Year of Living Dangerously, to be published by Random House imprint Broadway Books as an investigative narrative of Sarah Palin's significance as both political and cultural phenomenon. The publisher issuing the statement, Mr. McGinnis will be highly respectful of his subject's privacy as he investigates her public activities. No matter. Palin posting a photo of the place McGinnis is renting with the caption, "Hi neighbor, hey, can I call you Joe?" If you forget his name, too. Here he is about 15 feet away on the neighbor's rented deck overlooking my children's play area and my kitchen window. Knowing of his many other scathing pieces of journalism, including the bizarre anti-Palin administration oil development pieces that resulted in my Department of Natural Resources announcing that his work is the most twisted energy-related yellow journalism they've ever encountered. We're sure to have a doozy to look forward to with this treasure he's penning. Glenn Beck joining in the fight, vowing to never mention Random House books ever again, asking the publisher to rein in its authors. Mrs. Palin calling into that radio program earlier to make him only the second dumbest person on the air, to tell listeners that while she found Mr. McGinnis's move disturbing, don't worry, she'll be fine.
Everybody has trials and tribulations. Everybody has a battle that they are fighting too. And we may want to tire, we may want to give up, we may want to retreat. And instead, like my dad says, don't retreat, reload instead.
Again with a freaking gun reference. Joining me now is the political reporter of the Washington Post, Dave Weigel. Dave, good evening.
Good evening, Keith.
Mr. McGinnis has not commented on this, whether what he's done is considered unusual or not. Is there anything wrong or illegal about it?
Well, there's not. I actually think Jack Schaefer at Slate made a good argument today that there's a long journalistic tradition of being, in a word he didn't use, a jerk, of chasing somebody who's not going to submit to an interview for you. You know, Michael Moore does this. Bill O'Reilly does this. Bill O'Reilly sends reporters to shadow people. The extent to which McGinnis is taking it, that's more than most reporters would do. But he, you know, the way that Palin first put this on Facebook, her readers who might not have read every Joe McGinnis book interpreted it as a crazy person who is writing mean blog posts or mean slanderous articles about her, not as a journalist who was very clear about who he was and what he was doing.
Mr. Beck called Mr. McGinnis a voyeur, called him a peeping Tom, accused him of stalking. Obviously, that's irresponsible, but, you know, we're expecting that because that's the way he rolls. But she's implying in that post that he's staring at her nubile kids as they go to the old swimming hole, which is a lake the length of 3.5 football fields. I mean, who's turning this into a problem here?
Right, that's where a lot of people took exception to this, because McGinnis he said a little bit about what the book might be. If he learns anything, the most, I guess, controversial thing he said is if he learns anything about the state of their marriage, then he might write about that. He's never mentioned the kids. I mean, this is one of a few instances where Palin has taken a personal attack, or not a personal attack, a political attack, a biographer's attack, a journalist's investigation, and claimed it's an assault on her kids. You know, this happened with David Letterman. That David Letterman made a joke about Bristol Palin, who's a bit of a public figure. She's a spokesperson for abstinence. And, you know, Palin claimed, despite what Letterman's saying, he was making a joke about another kid. Everyone's after her kids. I mean, it reminds you of the kid who throws the water balloon and then calls time out. You know, when she starts attacking, if you try to attack back, she throws up this defensive shield. And in this case, it involved, I think, being incredibly unfair and a bit slanderous to someone.
To shift gears here, there's another result here on the Palin scoreboard. She supported the Idaho Republican and apparently great admirer of then Senator Senator Obama in 2004 plagiarized his speech. Vaughn Ward, in his bid for Congress, he lost. And a Tea Party candidate that she did not support, if we can follow all this, we need a diagram, Raul Labrador, won. Did she just happen to have backed the worst candidate in the world, or is she losing influence in this area?
Yeah, she did, I think. I mean, this guy was not the choice even of a lot of the local Tea Parties. The Tea Party Express endorsed the Democrat, the incumbent Democrat. So this was a case of her going off half-cocked because she likes gun metaphors, I guess I'll say that. But it all comes back to, I'm just surprised that she keeps picking fights like this Joe McGinnis fight, this candidate endorsement fight, when there's an oil spill happening. You're reporting it. We're going to hear more about it later. She has some expertise about this. Instead, it's these little personal political battles and these little personal insults that she chooses to use her global celebrity to turn into news. And it's mystifying. I mean, I don't take any pleasure in these, what ended up being today for me, a 50 hate mail blog post. I don't take pleasure in writing that. I'm wondering why she chooses to get into personal fights. And I think it's because she is more of a celebrity for Tea Partiers. She's more of a representative of motherhood and of all that is good about America than a political figure. Well, she should really learn to take it when journalists are investigating her. She should stop blocking interviews if she wants to have people, deal with her on a level. Yeah,
this is closer to Amy Semple McPherson than it is some actual religious leader and another.
You said that, not me.
You only got 50 hate. Only 50? Come on.
I'm rounding down, but it was a lot more than you get. Or less than you get.
Yeah,
less than you get.
Yes. Let's play in the big leagues here. Washington Post, Dave Weigel. Great, thanks, Dave.
Thank you.